everyone, and thanks for tuning in to another Game of the Week, brought to you by Fulton County Schools TV. We've got a great one for you today at Langston Hughes High School as Fulton County's own Langston Hughes Panthers go to war with the Northgate Vikings of Coweta County. Ton Evans wasted no time getting the Vikings the first touchdown of the game, but the Panthers blocked their extra point attempt to keep their score at 6. A couple of minutes later, Isaiah Green threw a 10-yard pass to Demetrius Whitmore, who caught the ball at the 40-yard line and made a beeline for the house. Whitmore dodged 2 Vikings and made a safe entrance into the end zone, tying the game at 6, and then a successful extra point from the Panthers put them in the lead by 1 point. This was the first lead change in a game that would have many more turns to come. With 5 minutes left in the first quarter, Ton Evans made another impressive touchdown, managing to shake off an attempted tackle from the Panthers and dive into the end zone to bring forth another lead for the Vikings. Evans ran 50 yards down the field and showed no signs of stopping until he reached the end zone. To compensate for the previously missed extra point, the Vikings went for a 2-point conversion, but quarterback Kyle McLaren was brought down before he could reach the end zone. This left the Vikings score at 12, 5 points ahead of the Panthers. But they soon increased their lead when Ton Evans ran for another touchdown, making it to the end zone just before being sent to the ground. And in another attempt at a 2-point conversion, Kyle McLaren passed the ball to Isaiah Pryor, who would catch it in the end zone to bring the Vikings to 20. And the Vikings' success continued when a pass intended for Sean Nelson was intercepted by Cameron Ramsey, who ran the ball nearly to the 35-yard line before being knocked out of bounds. Ton Evans was a big factor again in the second quarter when he scored another touchdown for the Vikings to put them almost 20 points in the lead. The Vikings then made their third 2-point conversion attempt of the game, but Aaron Finch forced an incomplete pass on the Vikings to stop the 2-pointer. Halfway into the second quarter, the Panthers began decreasing the lead when Demetrius Whitmore fought his way to a touchdown. Despite being grabbed by 2 Vikings, Whitmore manages to make it just far enough to reach the end zone and add 6 points for the Panthers. The Panthers seemed to be on the verge of a comeback when Isaiah Green threw a deep pass to Karan Puckett, who scored the touchdown and brought the Panthers within scoring range of the Vikings. And come back they did when Christian Royalston ran the ball to the end zone to put the Panthers back in the lead with a score of 27-26, which they follow up with an extra point to get a 2-point lead. But later, Kyle McLaren handed the ball off to Ton Evans to bring it home again and put the Vikings back in the lead. Then they went for another 2-point conversion and it paid off, with Kyle McLaren's pass landing cleanly in the grasp of Turner Hughes, who was ready for it in the end zone. This effectively brought the Vikings to a 6-point lead over the Panthers, who knew they didn't have any room for mistakes if they wanted to regain and maintain a lead. Christian Royalston fought with all his might to make it to the end zone through a horde of Vikings in his way, and he made it, tying the game with half a quarter left to play. The Panthers needed to make the extra point to take the lead, and then keep the Vikings from reaching the end zone again, and they were bound and determined to do so. Their kick was successful, bringing them to a 1-point lead, but the Vikings weren't going down without a fight. On 3rd down and long, McLaren passed the ball to Hughes, who ran it enough to earn them another first down. The Vikings would go on to get within 15 yards of the end zone, but the Panthers defense continued to keep them out. And then with 2 seconds left on the clock, the Vikings set up for a field goal that if made would win them the game. The Panthers defense lined up to block. And the kick was good, making the winner of this game the Northgate Vikings with a score of 37-35. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to tune in next week for another Game of the Week, brought to you by Fulton County Schools TV.